Hi friends. I want to talk with you about vision here. We're shifting, all of us are, and so inner things are becoming more available, such as your inner vision. Now this can be your third eye vision, of course, but it can also be your vision from heart. And those who make the shift from the head to the heart are ushered into what amounts to a new world. And it's very strange because to your physical eyes, things will look the same, but they're not. It's you that's changed. Now, you're the only reality here. We could actually look at cosmos as a grand illusion. In one way, I mean, it's creation and atoms are empty, and what we're seeing isn't what's there. This is a translation made by the mind. It's a really interesting situation, and as our frequencies continue to rise, we'll come into more and more understanding if we're open. How open are you? Here's my journal. Let's see. It's from 11:27, the first one of that day, at 12:28 a.m., just barely 11:27. The Mayan day for that is 6 wisdom, but it could also be seen as 5, and then whatever the sun sign is before wisdom. I don't quite have the full order memorized, just some of it. Okay, the feeling we get from watching a spiritual video, something that really touches us, has little or nothing to do with the one who made that video, the one speaking there. It has to do with you. They are not shining that light. They are reflecting you to you. It is yours. How do I know it's your light? Well, you wouldn't be able to see it if you didn't contain it. It wouldn't touch you. That's how things work, as far as I can see. This is the direct experience, too, that exemplifies the old saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You see? Light and spiritual advancement, for lack of better words, is also in the eye of the beholder. It's within. See this. Accept it. Open up to it. Get out of your head so you can let it in. And then get rid of all the old beliefs that get or that got in the way. It is incumbent on you to make this progress, to make such choices, to see this way. While we can't force our spiritual vision to mature, we are more than able to cooperate with what it is, with what is here for us right now. This is yet more of taking back your power. Does this connect for you? Can you see it yet? If not, then, as usual, just don't reject it outright. That's my advice. Leave the door open for it, just in case. If you'll do this, then you will, in the next hours and days, be shown exactly what's in the way. If you're alert and self-aware, self-observing, then you can begin to be shown what's going on. Actually, you're being shown all the time, but most of us pass it off. One day, you'll see how it's always been like this, This is evidence of how perfect life already is. But we haven't seen it. Now get out of the mind. I see some of you looking to war and starvation and all of that. Just be in your heart. Tell your mind to hush for the moment, or you won't be able to pick this up. Okay, we haven't seen it. We've been too busy complaining and being in mind. Now, this is not mind vision I'm sharing with you. It's heart vision, of course. Mind is not capable of generating this, but it can follow it once it is shown. Mind can cooperate. Do the work. Make it so. Once you see this way, everything will be different for you. You'll begin to see your true power, how simply every single thought makes a difference and is therefore important. Thought creates, my friends. Whether you believe it or not, doesn't influence the matter in the least. It just does. Only now you will, or you can, begin to own this, for now you can begin to see it. Vision is far more important than most of us realize, perhaps until the body is much older. When you recognize that life is perfect in every moment, every instance, you begin to comprehend how you must be part and parcel of that perfection. It couldn't be otherwise. And this vision is big. It may take a while to expand out, to let it in, for it changes you, but that's quite okay. No rush, please. It doesn't help anyway. Rush is of mind. This vision is of heart. You see, if simply everything in life is perfect, then so are you. If life is perfect in every moment, and I share with you that it is, then so must you be. Try that on. In your every moment exists this perfection, this beauty, heretofore maybe unseen. What is it, Cuddles? Open your pretty eyes, your divine vision, my friends. Don't be afraid to take this on. Remember, you're divine. If it seems daunting at first, then, well, take it to your imagination. Work with it there, as if it was maybe just a dream. You can play with it. Just remain open, that's all. Let your own heart lead the way. It will and it can, but only if you will cooperate. Basically, by getting out of your own way. The energy of this transmission is very deep. Can you sense it? Can you feel it? It is enough to take you straight into your own heart, if you wish. You can ride the wave in, and then you will see how it's your own heart that lifts you up, that takes over for me. My job is to get you there. Yours is to make the choice to enter or not. Once you enter, the rest is in the capable divine hands of higher self. And oh, by the way, just in case a reminder would be handy, higher self is the real you. Now, if you've only just tuned in toward the end here and are now feeling the energy, feeling your heart, then please consider going back to the beginning and listening or reading all the way through while heart-centered. You will sense what a big difference it makes. Allow higher self into your 3D life, my friends. Sure, it will more than likely upset a few apple carts, but one day you will see how that too was simply perfect to do. The fact is that you cannot make a mistake. But please don't let mind get a hold of this one. Mind is 100% guaranteed to get it wrong. Mind is not perfect. Spirit is. You are. Life is. And mind being imperfect is part of the perfection of all that is. By edging away, by turning away from anything mind has to say about this whole journal, you will make much faster progress. Give it a week if you can. Tell mind you'll check back in with it next week at this time on this topic. Then completely give yourself over to heart in the interim. Are you game? Find what resonates with higher self and listen to or read that this week. Now, mind will gripe and complain and likely be afraid off and on during the week. For some of you, mind is so much in control you won't be able to complete a week, but try it for a day. Hey, an hour, be flexible. Okay, afraid off and on during the week. This is understandable, but at some point, if you hope to find your way deep into heart, you have to let it go, at least for a bit. It won't crumble or fall apart. If it thinks it is doing that, recognize that as a power play, just like any child would try and would have a tantrum in his or her bid for your attention. Don't get suckered in. If you like, sit down and converse with mind ahead of time. Let it know gently what you plan to do and how good it has the potential to be for both of you, spirit and mind. Ask it to give you just this 1 hour, day, or week so that you may take this adventure. Tell it you can get together at the end of the week and see how things went. At that time, you will listen to it again, fully. Can you separate out from mind enough to have this conversation with it? If not, then maybe you're still too identified with your mind. On some deep level, you think you are mind. That's how we were all trained. Have a look at that. That's all. Just watch. Things will be revealed to you more and more as you learn to be silent and self-observe. It's an amazing thing, but one you definitely must prove to yourself. Heaven is opening up to you, to us, my friends. You can take such steps now without waiting for 1221. The more such steps you take, the more consciously you can make the great shift. We make it from heart, It is not an event of the mind, nor is enlightenment. Mind comes along for the ride, that's all. Let mind know that heart is the best tour guide for the great shift. Okay, and I put a PS on here that looks like it goes pretty long. So it says, okay, as a PS, this journal was inspired by a random video I was watching from my Watch Later YouTube playlist. Certain words were said in an interview that rang my internal resonance bells. So I hit pause and opened the word processor to see what would flow. Actually, I was just going to do something different. My plan was just to jot down a few ideas for a later journal. Instead, this is what came out. Now, the man wasn't speaking on this at all, though he was speaking of heart. You see, it wasn't the man who was communicating with me, it was higher self. By using this man's words to inspire my heart, the perfection of life that we've been discussing here showed itself. And because I was open and flexible, I was able to follow it into directions that I had not chosen nor planned. So, though nothing is truly random, it will still seem random at first, and at times, many times. At some point, you'll have seen this in operation enough, though, to reject that thought. The more we link up with the inner or higher self via the heart, the more powerful we are at discerning what to use and what to reject from our thoughts. It becomes a simple thing to simply look away from those thoughts we reject. There is no emotional charge to it, no second guessing, no doubting the self. Doubt, like fear, is a heart closer. Well, it can't close heart, but it can cut the tie, the connection, for a while. When you're focused in higher self or in heart, however, you'll always be aware of that channel, that flow. It will be your life's blood at some point. And you'll know in a New York minute, i.e., really fast, when the line is cut or interfered with in any way. You'll be self-observant, so you'll look around and you'll catch pretty quickly just what did that. And in a flash, you're connected again. What you'll probably find is that every time your heart reception is cut off, it's due to mind. Yet, it's really important that you self-observe this for yourself. Just trusting or believing it because I said it won't give you the strong heart ties that you need for what's up ahead. I can't walk your path for you. You've got to really know this stuff, and there's nothing like personal experience to make that happen. Love the self and trust the self. Tenderly care for the self that you are, all of it, not just the body, not just the mind. You are so beyond that, so much greater than that it's ridiculous. But you've got to carve out and claim this new territory, supposedly new, for yourself. Now, sure, one day you'll see that the heart territory is really quite old, but that day comes when it will. Meanwhile, there is now. Self and now. Stick with these and you'll never go wrong. I used to be unwilling to use words like never and always, but they come out sometimes now. We've got to be flexible like that. Lighten up on the self. Let it breathe. Let it enjoy. One day, too, we'll all realize that we could have been having a whole lot more fun down here in 3D, and that it was you, only you, who was restricting that. Believing in nonsense. No, I don't suppose many of us see it right now, and that's fine. Remember, at any and every moment, everything is perfect. You have and always will have simply everything you require at that time. Things either come in ahead or right precisely on time for their use. And it's up to you to begin seeing this at work, to acknowledge it. And this too is heart vision, my friends. Yes, heart vision is divine, but then so are you. Time to be reclaiming your sacred gifts and talents, so long on the shelf. Not anymore. Well, I wrote take the first step. Lord knows you wouldn't be here if you hadn't taken a few hundred steps, or 1,000 or million or whatever already. Anyway, the first step is all that's required. We're all shown as we go, but not until we take that step. This is how you claim your own native divinity. One day, one step, one now at a time. Namaste.